before you throw somebody over the side. You also heard, be there and be ready. Woody Allen used to say, showing up is half the fight. It's true. You can't influence the action if you're not there. And one of my favorite phrases that comes from a gunny that I got my ear bent 45 years ago is, you can pretend to care, but you can't pretend to be there. That's a true statement, because you can't fake it. You're either there, which shows caring, or you're not. You also heard attitude in adversity is everything. How you deal with the facts is up to you. It can knock you flat, or you can triumph over them. That choice is yours. You heard a pro sports reference. Good example. You get knocked flat in a football play, what do? You don't lay there and say, geez, I'm sorry. That's good. You got to get up and play. Attitude. You also heard using your life skills to take care of your people. Cat McGill talked about looking out for a guy making a car decision, or writing awards. It doesn't come up much in these events, but your writing skills determine, in a large extent, the future of your subordinates. Fitness reports are written for a reason. Recommendations are your testimony about that person's worthiness to succeed at the next higher rank, or whether they deserve an award, or whether they deserve to be treated negatively because they haven't lived up to the regulations or the standards. So you have to learn to communicate in writing. That's a lot of why your four-year degree is required. The notion of inescapable accountability. You are now responsible, period. No way out. Embrace it. Make you stronger by it. Don't try and weasel out of it. Or, in the great words of Captain McGill, don't be a douche. With that, Colonel, I think we've accomplished your intent. Sir?
Okay, was that awesome or what? Yeah. Cool. So General Herrensack, Major General Herrensack, some of you heard him speak at the commissioning last year. He was my boss in my previous job when I was a group commander. He is in charge of Air Force Recruiting Service right now. But there's something that he says, and I like it. My cadets have heard it already, but I think everyone should hear it, and it'll tie in today. He says that the most important weapon system that we have, and he speaks in Air Force vernacular, but I think it applies even bigger than that. If you said, what is the most important weapon system in all of the Department of Defense, we could then say that it doesn't come with a serial number. It doesn't come with a tail number. It comes with a social security number. And so the most important weapon system are our people. And when you think about that and what we've been talking about today, that was sort of a theme that I picked up in almost every one of your answers. In the end of the day, the most important weapon system we have is our people. And I heard these things as I caught the themes of your discussion. Win hearts and minds. Be humble. Work hard. Take care of people. Be honest. Parenting. Discipline in private. Get to know your people. Keep the people informed. Rely on your senior NCOs. Communicate the why. Be accountable. Own your decisions. Admit your mistakes. I heard that emails making the field's job harder weren't the right way to go. even though it was making your job easier. In fact, what you were communicating, what I picked up on there was, I always ask my staff, even we do it in the headquarters, for ROTC, I say, do the cadets work for us? No. I always say, who do we work for? And the answer is the staff works for the field. When I was a group commander, we had 800 people in the group. And I would always sit there at staff meeting and I'd say, the staff works for who? The field was the answer. So they didn't work for us, we worked for them. And that lesson that you learned is probably what you applied the rest of your career from that point, to serve the field. Be a people person. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Don't be afraid to fail. Learn from your senior NCOs. You've heard that several times, I think, tonight. How do you get experience? Well, it's sitting right next to you. You may show up brand new, but those senior NCOs have a heck of a lot to share with you. The enlisted force does. Some of the other officers that are already there do. The books that are surrounding you sitting on shelves that you might want to actually pull down and read every once in a while have a lot of information in them, or maybe even before you get there. You can gain that experience by reading. Read doctrine, I heard. I think that goes along those lines. That saved you in that situation. Probably the lawyer, I was picturing the scenario without, I know you purposely didn't share the specifics, but we can all picture the specifics of what that might have been. His job's in ALO. We're talking about an operational lawyer. We're talking about probably putting bombs on target or doing something somewhere and figuring out whether or not it's legal or not to do so. Know your people. I heard that, I saw that several times. I heard be humble several times. So there's a theme here, and we appreciate what you guys have shared with us tonight. And I think you've just, you say you can't put an old head on a young boy is what my dad used to say, but I'd say in this case, you've just achieved part of that. By sharing some information, and Colonel Collins' thoughts included, the folks in this room get to walk out of here with a little knowledge they wouldn't have had first time. And they'll be sitting at their desk someday maybe, and they'll go, I remember I'm not supposed to email 3 levels down directly to get the answer. You know, they'll remember some of the other things that were relayed to, and that's what was important here tonight. So what I'd like to start with, though, is thanking someone who's been involved with this program for a long time, Colonel Tom Collins. Thanks for another superb job. I think everyone would agree that this was just a banging up success of moderating tonight. I know the audience agrees with me that your contribution is key to our success. Colonel Collins has been a part of every panel we've had, since, as Dean Gaddis said, since 2008, and I hope he continues to accept our invitations long into the future. Colonel Collins, if you could please come forward to say thank you. We're presenting you with a coin and a book that I think you'll like, Make Your Bed. Some of you probably know it, by Admiral William McRae. Okay, so it says, from me to you, Tom, thank you for your steadfast support of our future military officers. This event truly would not be the same without you. Your insights and ability to shape the conversation in a way that connects with the audience are special gifts that we are blessed with at the Blessing Combat Leadership Panel every year. Thank you for taking the time to mentor and shape our future ensigns and lieutenants. Thanks for continuing to make a difference. Okay, for our panelists, first off, thank you for your service and what you've done and continue to do in defense of our nation. Thanks also for your willingness to be here tonight and share your experiences. It's not easy to do so, and lessons with these future officers out here. In just a few months, many of them will take their places alongside you serving around the globe. For those approaching that milestone, the panel explained, well, why commissioning is only the beginning, because learning never stops for an effective leader. Remember that, it never stops. You'll be learning your entire career. I just learned some things tonight. It goes on always. And I don't think we could have had 5 better examples of effective leaders than our panel tonight. So thank you all again. To say thank you and to help you remember tonight, we have some individual gifts we would like to present to you. Okay, thanks, everyone. We appreciate you. I hope you leave here, and I think you will, knowing that you've made a significant contribution towards these folks for what lies ahead. Our 11th annual Blessing Combat Leadership Panel event would not have been possible, and I truly mean that. There's a lot that goes into this and a lot of support that's required for it to be able to happen without the inspiration and continuing support that Mr. Ed and Ms. Kalita Blessing have given. Your support